In today's video, I'm going to show you how to set your backlight so that it automatically turns on whenever you tilt your wrist towards you to look at your watch. You've got a couple different settings. This is the Garmin Instinct Solar first generation. On the Instinct 1, you have to do the setting on your watch. If you have the Instinct 2 or later, you could also do this setting on the Garmin Connect app. It's really pretty simple. We're going to press and hold the menu button. It's the middle button on the left-hand side of the watch. That'll take us into our main menu. Now we're going to press the up or down button. I always like pressing the up button because we need to go to settings, and that's at the bottom of the list. Press GPS once you're on settings. Again, we're going to use the up or down button. We need to go to system. Press GPS when we're on system. And now we're simply going to use the down button. Go down a few to backlight, and that'll take us into our backlight settings. Now I'm not going to go through every backlight setting. We're just going to be looking at the wrist tilt function. You've got two different options here: during an activity and not during an activity. This would only be the times that you're active in an activity. So you've gone out and you're doing a jog, or you're doing a walk, or you're in the hunting activity. This is going to be your backlight settings for those times. The other option would be not during an activity. That would be any time other than when you're in an activity. So choose the one that you want. You can set these totally different. So maybe you want the wrist tilt on when you're in an activity, but not when you're not in an activity. You could totally do that. I'm going to go into during activity, and we're simply going to go down to where we see gesture. Press GPS to go into that option. You can have it turned off. Off means it will never turn on when I'm in an activity if I tilt my wrist towards me. On means it will always turn on every time I tilt my wrist towards me. If I'm in an activity, turn the backlight on. And then the other option is after sunset. This is kind of a cool feature. If it's after sunset for the given day, turn on my backlight whenever I tilt my wrist towards me. If it's before sunset, don't do it. Set it to whatever value you want to, then press the back button, and we need to go adjust the same setting for not during an activity. And again, you can set it the exact same way, or you can set it totally different. Under not during activity, we're going to press the down button a couple of times. Again, we're going to go to gesture, and we're going to see the exact same three options we just saw for during activity. Not during an activity, do we want it off? Do we want it on all day long? Or do we want it on only after sunset? Set it to whatever value you want, and now you've successfully adjusted or turned on or off, depending on how you set it, the wrist tilt option. Now all we need to do is press the back button a few times, put the watch on our wrist, and the backlight should follow whatever settings we did. The one thing I'll mention is make sure you have your wrist on setting correct. If you're having issues with it, you're tilting your wrist towards you and it's not turning on, go into your user profile and make sure you have the right wrist that the watch is on, because that can impact this setting. I've done a video in the past that walks you through that. If you need to look through my videos, if you're having problems, I welcome you to do that. As always, I hope the video helped.